Chapter 1836. Steel Life hits Duke Long. Dream Realm. This is Cincher Peak? The Dragon Man clone looked at the floating mountain in the sky as he showed some amazement. This is not a real mountain. It is like a phantom image. Indeed, brother. I was shocked when I first saw it too. Dragon Man Gu Immortal Huang Wei was by his side. Two scenes had passed in this dream realm. They were currently inside Gu Immortal when Xiu's grotto heaven. Because the tribulation was too strong, loopholes formed and a connection to the outside world was created. It got discovered. When Xiu was a legendary woman, an information path great expert that had died long ago. She was a lone cultivator and lacked resources. The reason she became a rank 8 great expert was because she owned a special area, Cincher Peak. A central continent Gu Immortal observed for some time before gasping. When Xiu was truly formidable, this Cincher Peak is man-made and is full of information path Dao marks. It is akin to half a secluded domain of heaven and earth. Along with Fang Yuan's clone were many central continent Gu Immortals. All of the Immortals were looking at Cincher Peak. Undeniably, it was the essence of this grotto heaven as well as the most valuable resource here. Everyone wanted it. Huang Wei transmitted. Brother, when we can test for it later, give it your best effort. I will help to defend you and stall for time. Okay. Fang Yuan's clone was answering when the surrounding Gu Immortals turned to attack him. Strike first. Wu Shuai is the strongest person here. If we fight him alone, none of us are his match. How can we let the great Cincher Peak end up in the hands of a Dragon Man? It turned out that while Huang Wei and Fang Yuan's clone were conversing, the other human Gu Immortals had already made their agreement. Instantly, Fang Yuan's clone and Huang Wei fell into an encirclement. From all directions, killer moves approached. Such guts! Fang Yuan's clone shouted angrily as his Dragon Man body charged to the sky with imposing might. A vast amount of ants flew with him, forming a golden river current that protected Huang Wei and himself. Boom, boom, boom. The human Gu Immortals attacked fiercely. Soon, Fang Yuan's carefully nurtured ant army suffered immense losses. Fang Yuan retaliated immediately. His methods were profound and powerful, quickly salvaging the situation. After a few rounds, he broke out of the encirclement and went into a deadlock with the Immortals. After a dozen rounds, the Gu Immortals who encircled him became suppressed in the battle. Enslavement path Gu Immortals were usually able to fight a group of enemies alone. This Dragon Man Gu Immortal Wu Shuai that Fang Yuan was portraying had immense talent. He eventually forced these central continent Gu Immortals to retreat. Of course, Fang Yuan's clone paid a terrible price, while Huang Wei also sustained heavy injuries. It was a difficult victory, but at least we obtained Cincher Peak. Huang Wei smiled bitterly, but when Fang Yuan's clone was about to obtain it, he met with an obstruction. What is going on? They quickly found the reason. Someone had secretly gone to take this Cincher Peak as his own while they were fighting, stealing the fruits of the battle. This was none other than Fan Ji, the person who was having an affair with Wu Shuai's wife, Xu Jiuling. Fan Ji had fainted on the spot. His soul foundation was too weak to refine the entire Cincher Peak. This fellow. The Dragon Man clone gritted his teeth in anger. He was filled with rage. He almost attacked and killed him. You can't kill him. The Dragon Man Gu Immortal Huang Wei who was beside him quickly shouted. Why not? Fang Yuan's clone turned around with bloodshot eyes. He was filled with killing intent. Huang Wei explained. Oh brother, I know your pain, but we both know this person's identity. If you kill him, his grandfather will take action. He is now a member of Heavenly Court, but he does not move around normally. If his beloved grandson gets killed, he will investigate the truth and take revenge on you. Fang Yuan's clone was stunned before his gaze turned dark. His face was distorted from anger. After a long time, he sighed deeply. Brother, you are right. I cannot kill him. Otherwise, the best-case scenario is that I get involved. But worse is that others might use this as a chance to deal with our Dragon Man race. How can I, Wu Shuai, implicate the entire Dragon Man race because of my personal emotions? At the same time, in immemorial white heaven, it should be here. Shen Tsongsheng frowned a little. After inspecting the empty sky for a long time, he stopped frowning as he spoke with certainty. Standing beside him was Song Chi Yuan. He smiled. Brother Shin's investigative methods are very effective. In that case, let's work together. Shen Tsongsheng answered. Of course, I want to know why Immortal Crane Sect's Pine Crane Pavilion came to Eastern Sea sneakily and vanished here. These two were not ordinary Gu immortals. One was Shun Clan's first Supreme Elder, and the other was Song Clan's first Supreme Elder. They had rank 8 cultivation level. The two were originally on an important mission, but they found Pine Crane Pavilion by chance at that time. Fang Zheng was inside this immortal Gu house, having entered Eastern Sea. The two Gu immortals were authority figures with deep knowledge. They recognized Pine Crane Pavilion as they wondered, what is an immortal Gu? House of Central Continent's 10 great ancient sects doing in Eastern Sea. Shun Tsongsheng also found that a Gu immortal expert was hidden near Pine Crane Pavilion. The two Gu immortals thus followed from afar. Using Shun Tsongsheng's investigative method, they did not lose track of this immortal Gu house, and because they were afraid of alerting the enemy, they were too far away. When Fang Yuan ambushed Duke Long in Pine Crane Pavilion, they did not see anything by the time they arrived. Fang Yuan had already succeeded in trapping Duke Long and Pine Crane Pavilion in the Chi Path battlefield. But Shun Tsongsheng's method was incredible. After some investigation, he found a lot of clues. He deduced that an immortal battlefield was hidden here. The two Gu immortals immediately attacked. What is going on? Shun Tsongsheng and Song Chi Yuan actually came here? Did they have any agreements with Heavenly Court? Fang Yuan's heart sank. The attack of the two Eastern Sea immortals made him immediately get into a situation of facing internal and external threat. Against Duke Long, he had to give his full attention without distraction. But now, he had to deal with Song Chi Yuan and Shun Tsongsheng. It was really troublesome now. Fang Yuan could not deal with so many aspects at once. Rumble. The Chi Path battlefield shook as Duke Long noticed it. He became joyful. What is going on? Someone is attacking this Chi Path battlefield? This is a good chance. Duke Long roared as he attacked with even greater force. Fang Yuan snorted coldly. He used the Chi Path battlefield to dodge attacks while aiming his moves at Pine Crane Pavilion. Attacking the enemy's weakness was the best strategy. Because Duke Long's weakness was grasped, he had to go on the defensive and continually take hits. But good times did not last long. The Chi Path battlefield soon gave way as more loopholes formed. Duke Long had been searching for a chance. He laughed loudly. Chi Si. Ancestor, your luck is pretty bad. Even though you set an ambush, external forces came to attack. You have been targeting my weakness all along. But now your Chi Path battlefield is your weakness. Break. Saying so, Duke Long unleashed his killer move as the Chi Dragon soared to the sky. It could roam freely in heaven and earth. It could move unhindered over the universe. Fang Yuan quickly tried to stop it, but the Chi Dragon was very agile. It directly targeted the Chi Path battlefield's weakness. Fang Yuan could not stop it. He sighed as a huge loophole formed in the Chi Path battlefield. It rapidly expanded until the battlefield broke apart. Fang Yuan grunted as the backlash assaulted him. Duke Long did not attack him immediately. Instead, he pushed Pine Crane Pavilion. Go. A wave of dragon-shaped chi carried Pine Crane Pavilion and Fang Zheng as it rapidly retreated, attempting to escape the battlefield. After the battlefield was broken, Duke Long returned to Eastern Sea, but he found that the ones who destroyed the battlefield were Song Chi Yuan and Shun Tsongsheng. These two were Eastern Sea rank 8s. They were not allies. Instead, Chi Si Ancestor had genuine Eastern Sea aura. Thus, Duke Long first made a move on Fang Zheng to send him away so that he would have no reservations in the fight. What is going on? Song Chi Yuan and Shun Tsongsheng saw this. They became stunned. Duke Long? They immediately recognized Duke Long's identity. Their hearts shook. Duke Long was extremely famous. He was the master of Red Lotus Demon Venerable. He had great seniority. Song Chi Yuan and Shun Tsongsheng had not thought that they would see Duke Long in this situation. And more unexpectedly, Duke Long seemed to be ambushed by a person who seemed to be an Eastern Sea rank 8 Gu immortal. Heavens, since when did Eastern Sea have such an expert? He dared to ambush Duke Long. Song Chi Yuan and Shun Tsongsheng looked at each other in disbelief. They had a similar thought. Crap, we seem to have disrupted this Eastern Sea friend's plans. Instead, we helped Central Continent's Heavenly Court. Friend, we. Song Chi Yuan wanted to explain, but Fang Yuan grunted as he flew like lightning towards Pine Crane Pavilion. Duke Long saw this and became enraged. This person seemed like a gentleman and an old expert, but he was still targeting Pine Crane Pavilion even now. Thus, he gave chase. Duke Long was very fast. He soon caught up to Fang Yuan. The two began exchanging moves again. Song Chi Yuan and Shun Tsung Sheng took a few glances. They burst out in cold sweat. These are both monsters. Since when did Eastern Sea have such an expert? He is able to fight Duke Long evenly? Forget this. He is obviously targeting Pine Crane Pavilion. What does this Pine Crane Pavilion contain? Even if there is nothing, we foiled his plans. We can take down this immortal goo house to explain our stance. Song and Shin quickly moved, getting away from the battlefield and grabbing Pine Crane Pavilion from the horizon. You cannot kill me. I am a prospective member of Heavenly Court. I am protected by Duke Long. I am Guyu Fangzheng. I am also Fang Yuan's brother. At the moment of life and death, Fang Zheng, who was well experienced now, felt no sense of shame as he shouted. He did everything to preserve his life. Song and Shin stopped their actions indeed. They looked at this mere rank 6 Gu immortal in surprise. Fang Zheng barely calmed himself down as he gulped. Heavenly Court wants to use me as a weapon against Fang Yuan. They place great importance on me. You can use me as the hostage to extort resources and even immortal Gu from Heavenly Court. I believe that Heavenly Court will give you a satisfactory amount. Shun Tsungsheng waved his hand as Fang Zheng immediately fainted. He looked towards Song Chi Yuan. Brother Song, what do we do? Song Chi Yuan was frowning deeply. It seems like we really cannot kill him. This situation is out of my expectations. Let's go back and watch the battle. All right. The two went back to the battlefield. They saw from afar that Duke Long had the upper hand. He was attacking fiercely. That Eastern Sea rank 8 Gu immortal finally made a mistake when defending. He revealed a weakness. Duke Long had gotten rid of the burdened Fang Zheng. He immediately grasped this weakness. Attacking fiercely, Fang Yuan defended himself desperately. Oh no, the Eastern Sea Gu immortal is in danger. What do we do? Do we reinforce him? Song Chi Yuan and Shun Tsung Sheng hesitated. They had interfered in this matter coincidentally. They were still very suspicious now. Unlike the previous life, they had no idea what was going on, but at this moment, the two gasped that it turned out that Fang Yuan had changed his tactic. He moved rapidly and approached Duke Long. Duke Long, you fell for it. Have a taste of this. Immortal killer move, steal life. Duke Long had a stunned expression as the killer move steal life landed on him directly. That it turned out that Fang Yuan had pretended to be heavily injured and exposed a weakness so that he could obtain this chance. Song Chi Yuan and Shun Tsungsheng looked at each other, feeling the immense shock in each other's emotions. Because after Duke Long got hit by this move, his condition became quite weird. He floated in the air without moving at all. Steal life? Why is it? In your hands. Duke Long looked at Fang Yuan. Chapter 1837. Duke Long recruiting Fang Yuan. Duke Long was hit by the killer move steal life, but Fang Yuan's expression sank a little, because nothing really happened to Duke Long back then when Fang Yuan attacked Thunder Ghost True Monarch in Langya Blessed Land. The effect of steal life was immediate. In the previous life, when Langya Land Spirit used steal life Immortal Gu, he also heavily injured Fairy Zi Wei, Chen Yi, and Feng Jiugu, while Thunder Ghost True Monarch died. But this time, against Duke Long, this steal life killer move had no effect. This was out of Fang Yuan's expectations. But soon, he recovered as he said casually, Fang Yuan gave it to me, but it seems to have no effect on you. Why is that? Duke Long said plainly, I had once used the killer move Heavenly Dragon's Last Stand. My lifespan will continue to dwindle as my strength rises proportionately. This is like Gu immortals who overuse lifespan extension methods. Lifespan Gu no longer work on them. My Heavenly Dragon's Last Stand also causes other lifespan extension methods to stop working on me. And steal life merely exerts influence on the Tao marks corresponding to lifespan. This might be why it failed. So that's it. Fang Yuan nodded as he smiled. Such tricks do not work on you, but it will still be quite effective against other Heavenly Court immortals. I will save it for the future. Duke Long's expression turned dark. He was worried about this. Even though the killer move Steal Life was ineffective on him, it was still very useful against most of the other Heavenly Court members that in this current situation. Fang Yuan failed to defeat Duke Long because of Song Qi Yuan and Shun Tsongsheng's interference. Duke Long was aware that this was likely the result of Qin Ding Ling's change luck, and also because of Fang Zheng's presence. However, it would be extremely difficult if Duke Long tried to destroy Steel Life Immortal Gu, because he had fought Fang Yuan for a long time. He knew that this Qi Si ancestor was very strong. He was not like any other ordinary peak rank 8 Gu immortal. It was possible to defeat him, but trying to kill him would be very difficult, because he could not set up an immortal battlefield now. He could not trap Qi Si ancestor. At the same time, 2 Eastern Sea rank 8s were watching near the periphery. Thus, after getting hit by Steel Life, Duke Long did not make a move, but he spoke to Fang Yuan warmly. Qi Si ancestor. As the saying goes, friends are often made after a fight. You cannot defeat me, but I cannot do anything to you either. The truth is, why do we even need to fight so intensely? Fang Yuan had a thought as he said, "Oh, Duke Long, you want a truce?" He had deep wisdom path attainment. He could easily understand Duke Long's intentions. He felt a bit of admiration internally. Duke Long was ambushed by me and took a beating in the fight earlier. He has such a great status and seniority. His strength is also at the peak, but he has no arrogance at all. He remained calm and observed the situation with clarity. Once he understood that a truce was more advantageous, he immediately stopped the fight. This person truly has terrifying self-control. Even though he was thinking about this, Fang Yuan spoke something different. This is because Heavenly Court came to disturb and provoke me. I do not want to contest with anyone. I cultivate in seclusion, but your Heavenly Court is too greedy. You want to devour all 5 regions and unify the world. My existence itself was your biggest obstacle. Therefore, you used a devious scheme to plot against me, and also gathered a large number of rank 8s to encircle and attack me. Duke Long heard this as he felt helpless. He felt maligned. Heavenly Court had done no such thing as of this moment. In fact, this was the first time he had heard of Qi Si ancestor, but he had no words to rebuke him, because it was likely that Heavenly Court would do this in the future. Let's not discuss the fact that this could be Fang Yuan's lie. Duke Long nodded. Even if this is true, that happened in the previous life. Looking at the river of time, it is a matter at the downstream. It has not happened yet. In that case, since we know about it, why don't we change it? Fang Yuan laughed mockingly. Haha, did I hear wrongly? Isn't your Heavenly Court proclaiming to be the leader of the righteous path? You defend heaven's will and try all means to repair fate? You actually want to change the future. Isn't that trying to change fate itself? Fang Yuan pretended to be unaware. This was a crafty accusation. Duke Long smiled. Heavenly Court does defend the Heavenly Tao. We want to repair fate Gu. But this Heavenly Tao is the Heavenly Tao that wants humanity to rule. This fate is the fate Gu that defends the human race. Qi Si ancestor, we do not have a huge grudge between us. We can coexist in peace. I will represent Heavenly Court here. We can make an alliance of mutual non-interference. Duke Long spoke solemnly and with great sincerity at the edge of the battlefield. The 2 Eastern Sea rank 8 Gu immortals heard this, and their expressions changed. Shun Tsongsheng gasped in dismay, while Song Qi Yuan also had an ugly expression. Originally, after seeing that Eastern Sea had someone like Qi Si ancestor who could fight Duke Long alone without being suppressed, they were very happy to in the 5 regions. Eastern Sea had the most abundant resources, but the Gu immortals were not. United, their battle strength varied greatly among each other. With the currently moving earth veins, new earth trenches were forming all the time. The 5 regional walls were weakening and the 5 regions were merging into one. This was no secret to anyone now. Once the 5 regions merge into one, the other 4 regions would face the intense threat of Central Continent. Song Qi Yuan and Shun Tsongsheng were both first supreme elders that were rank 8 Gu immortals. They had great authority and could clearly see the threats of the future. In this situation, if Qi Si ancestor went against Heavenly Court, it would greatly benefit Eastern Sea's super forces. Firstly, Qi Si ancestor had outstanding battle strength. He was on par with Duke Long. When Heavenly Court invades Eastern Sea, he would be a huge threat to them. Secondly, Qi Si ancestor was a secluded cultivator. He had not shown up after so many years. It showed that he had no ambition. Because he was alone, he could definitely coexist with all the super forces in Eastern Sea. Finally, Qi ancestor clearly cultivated Qi path. This path had been on the decline for many years. Why would any super force in Eastern Sea cultivate Qi path primarily? Thus, in terms of resources, there was no conflict. Alliance with Heavenly Court. Fang Yuan pretended to be stunned. He stopped his actions as he suppressed his aura and did not make a move. Duke Long said energetically, Qi, our conflict can definitely be resolved peacefully. Regarding your potential future losses, we, Heavenly Court, can also compensate you. Duke Long was an experienced person. He spoke frankly and had great magnanimity. His concern was regarding the big picture. You can't. Shen Songsheng could not control himself as he shouted, flying over quickly. Song Qi Yuan followed behind him, saying, Heavenly Court has a deep foundation. Their so-called compensation is nothing to them. Right now, they have grand ambitions. They just want to stabilize this situation now. Senior, you must not trust them. That's right, Senior. We were rash earlier and ruined your plans. We regret it deeply now. Shen Songsheng said again. Furthermore, alliance agreements are bullshit. Any agreement can be broken given enough time or if they pay a huge price. Senior cultivates Qi path instead of information path, but Heavenly Court is different. They cannot be trusted. Song Qi Yuan added. The two of them spoke like juniors because they saw Fang Yuan's incredible strength. But why would Fang Yuan agree in the first place? He was merely stalling for time now, but it seemed that these two Eastern Sea immortals were more anxious than him. Fang Yuan smiled internally. He knew what these two were thinking with just a thought. Duke Long nodded. Indeed, at our level, agreements cannot restrict us. However, friend Qi has steel life, right? You must know its value. With this move, you have Heavenly Court's weakness in your grasp. This is the foundation of our alliance. With this restricting us, why would we break our agreement? Once he said that, Fang Yuan assessed Duke Long deeply. In the previous life, Fang Yuan saw Duke Long's immense battle strength, but to think that he was so eloquent as well, he was not inferior to a wisdom path Gu immortal. According to Duke Long's understanding, Steel Life, Immortal Gu, and the Killer Move were both given to Qi ancestor by Fang Yuan to deal with him. But these things were now used by Duke Long to push for an alliance with Qi ancestor instead. Fang Yuan was silent. He knew about Duke Long's plans. He must be thinking that Qi ancestor was not an otherworldly demon. As long as Fate Gu was repaired, he would pose no threat to them. He could even be recruited to become Heavenly Court's battle strength. This was the power of a sect system. How could clan-based forces even attempt this? Normally, super forces could not recruit Qi ancestor at his level that was equal to Duke Long. Only the number one force, Heavenly Court, had the foundation to recruit him. The two Eastern Sea immortals were extremely anxious. They immediately spoke and pointed out that if Fate Gu was repaired, due to the influence of Heaven's will, Heavenly Court would be unbeatable. Heavenly Court had a huge ambition. They wanted to take over the world. Seniors should not be blinded by them. These two Eastern Sea rank 8s were also not stupid. Fang Yuan smiled to himself. With the two of them here, he did not have to waste his own effort. He looked at Duke Long without speaking. Duke Long looked at these two Eastern Sea immortals coldly, exerting pressure. But Song Qi Yuan and Shen Songsheng looked at him fearlessly, even though they knew that they were not Duke Long's match. In the previous life, they dared to fight against him over Dragon Palace. In this life, they also dared to face him. This was not about courage. It was about benefits. Qi ancestors' stance was too important. They needed to speak up now. The two Eastern Sea immortals were not wimps. Shen Songsheng smiled coldly. Lord Duke Long, why are you not letting us speak? Did we hit a nerve? Song Qi Yuan added. Look, Senior, this is Heavenly Court's attitude. They are truly overbearing. Duke Long snorted and laughed. If not for Heavenly Court, why would there be the human race of today? Even if Heavens will exert influence, how much influence can there be? Can it kill you directly? If Heavens will had such power, we would have unified the 5 regions long ago. Why would we wait until now? At this point, I might as well increase the offer. Friend Qi, why don't you just join our Heavenly Court? After cultivating alone for so many years, you gained such strength. This shows your immense talent. But you must know about the pains of a lone cultivator. let's just talk about tribulations. How many people in this world can actually help you with them? In Eastern Sea, is there anyone who can match you? You want to rely on these people for help? In fact, these two even ruined your chi path battlefield earlier. If you join Heavenly Court, I can help you with tribulations. Even without me, Heavenly Court's immortal graveyard has countless sleeping rank 8 Gu immortals. We also have the Wisdom Path great expert Fairy Ziwei, who possesses star constellation chessboard. She can help you with deductions. Chi path has already become a declining path, but Heavenly Court has primordial origin immortal venerables inheritance. If you make any outstanding contributions, you can even obtain primordial origin's true inheritance in the future. Chapter 1838. Fighting for Fang Yuan's supper. Duke Long made a huge offer, but nobody felt anything strange about it. Fang Yuan's strength was apparent to everyone. His attitude could affect Eastern Sea and even Central Continent to a large extent. This was his value. In the Gu cultivation world, strength was supreme. Song Chi Yuan became increasingly anxious as he laughed coldly. Lord Duke Long, you are truly shameless. Earlier you were fighting to the death with Senior Chi Si, but now you want to recruit him. Who can believe your words? Duke Long smiled calmly. To trust or not to trust, that is up to the individual. You two do not trust me because you are afraid that Heavenly Court will go after your benefits. You both have your own clans and territories. You own many sea areas, and you want to protect your forces. But Chi Si is alone. He is not like you. Laughable. Senior Chi Si is an Eastern Sea Gu immortal. If he joins your Heavenly Court, he will definitely be isolated and pushed aside by you all. Shun Tsong Sheng shouted. Isolated and pushed aside. Duke Long looked at Shun Tsong Sheng in disdain. With this kind of small-minded thinking, no wonder Shin Clan has not done anything significant after you led it for so many years. The sect system is extremely accepting of outsiders. We only look at talent. And what is that talk about Eastern Sea and Central Continent? The 5 regions are merging into one. Every Gu immortal in this world will belong to the same region in the future. Duke Long was eloquent. Song Chi Yuan and Shun Tsong Sheng were quickly rebuked until they were silent. However, even if Duke Long made sense, would Fang Yuan possibly join Heavenly Court? If Duke Long knew that he was talking to Fang Yuan himself, who knew what expression he would show? Shun Tsong Sheng wanted to speak again. He did not want to give up. Duke Long snorted coldly, showing ruthlessness in his eyes. Your tiny Shin clan wants a piece of this world? Ambition has to fit one's strength. Otherwise, you will only attract trouble in the future. In fact, I can act as that trouble now and give your Shin clan what it deserves. Shun Tsong Sheng was threatened by Duke Long. He was furious and shocked, but kept his mouth shut. He was here to convince Chi Si ancestor. He did not want to implicate Shin clan in this, or become the eyesore of Heavenly Court. Otherwise, when the 5 regions' chaotic war starts, Shun clan would become the cannon fodder. That was not what he wanted to see. Song Chi Yuan knew that he could not show weakness at this moment. He clapped. Such dominance, Duke Long. As a Central Continent Gu immortal, you are threatening 3 rank 8 Gu immortals of Eastern Sea now. Are you trying to take advantage of our good temperament? Fang Yuan also snorted coldly. He had an ugly expression. I am familiar with this tone as well. In the future, when your Heavenly Court's Gu immortals attack me, you will use this tone as well, thinking that you are the supreme overlords of this world and that everyone should submit to you unconditionally. Once he said that, Shun Tsong Sheng and Song Chi Yuan felt revitalized as they straightened their backs. They did not know that Fang Yuan was helping them out a little and supporting them because he saw that they were currently intimidated by Duke Long's overbearing aura. This situation was quite peculiar now. Earlier, Duke Long and Fang Yuan were fighting, but now, Eastern Sea's 2 immortals and Duke Long were fighting for Fang Yuan's support. Fang Yuan was happy to see this situation. He stood in the middle and watched the 2 sides. He would step in to help whichever side was weaker when the chance occurred. This is a really rare opportunity. If I handle this well, maybe Shin Clan and Song Clan will become the eyesores of Heavenly Court after this. Fang Yuan decided to sow discord. He was going to use this chance to intensify the conflict between the 2 sides, so as to influence the entire Eastern Sea Gu immortal world. Duke Long saw that Chi Si ancestor's expression turned dark. He felt a little annoyed that he was not annoyed at Chi Si ancestor, but Fang Yuan instead. This demon has ill intentions. He is most skilled at devious schemes. When he got Qi Si ancestor to help him, he must have aggravated the story. Friend Qi Si. Duke Long thought about it and spoke. There is mutual benefit in us working together and mutual harm if we become enemies. Many of these devious people are trying to sow discord and use you as their cannon fodder. He spoke with both a soft and hard stance. He was not promising rewards solely. He was also displaying Heavenly Court's deep strength. On the other hand, seeing that Qi Si ancestor spoke up for them, the two Eastern Sea rank 8s thanked him while speaking ill of Heavenly Court. They were even more daring than earlier. Fang Yuan stayed at the center, sowing discord as he watched the two sides accuse and blame each other. After a while, they became more heated. Their words were also more offensive. Fang Yuan observed his expression and saw that Duke Long was getting impatient. He knew that he could not overdo it. He smiled with deep meaning. Why would I not know what that Fang Yuan is planning? But that junior is quite interesting. He promised me many things. He was even willing to offer venerable true inheritances. Even though I cultivate Qi path, I also have descendants inside my immortal aperture. It is always good to make preparations for them in advance. Fang Yuan was completely shameless. These true inheritances were his to begin with. He could say anything he wanted. Duke Long heard this and realized. Did Fang Yuan also try to recruit Qi Si ancestor? But it was not surprising. This person was so powerful that in the absence of an immortal venerable, almost nobody could threaten him. Even Duke Long himself was only on par with him. Even though his killer moves were not very exquisite and he did not seem to have many Qi path rank 8 immortal goo, his downmarks were at an absurd number. It was truly a mystery how he managed to cultivate to this extent. Duke Long did not know that Fang Yuan had deceived him again. He laughed. Fang Yuan is merely someone who got lucky. He is a pawn of the venerables. They needed him in their arrangements, so they gave him some benefits and made him slog for it. In terms of foundation, how can he compare to Heavenly Court? Qi Si. If you join Heavenly Court, you would not need to contribute your immortal aperture. You can keep it. Forget it. Let's not talk about joining Heavenly Court now. I just want to express my sincerity. In the future, if you want to join us, I will definitely invite you with open arms. Let's talk about the compensation. Since you cultivate Qi path, my Heavenly Court is willing to provide a batch of rank 8 Qi path resources that are extinct in the outside world, as well as Qi path inheritances that are all exceptional for you to peruse. Duke Long decided to take it slowly. Fang Yuan's eyes shined with bright light when he heard about the Qi path resources mentioned. They were indeed extinct. Only Heavenly Court could keep them until now from the remote antiquity era. Other forces could not compare with Heavenly Court in age. They would not have such treasures stored up. Song Qi Yuan and Shun Tsongsheng saw that Fang Yuan was moved. They quickly called out, Senior Qi Si, do you know that Duke Long came to Eastern Sea secretly? Because he wants to obtain immortal Gu House Dragon Palace. We just captured Guyu Fangzheng earlier. We soul-searched him and obtained a lot of information. That's right. Duke Long only wants to stabilize Senior now and retrieve the crucial immortal Gu House first. Once he completes his task, who knows what attitude he will have later. Song Qi Yuan added fuel to the fire. Fang Yuan was very happy internally. This immortal Gu House, Dragon Palace, was rank 8. Both Song Qi Yuan and Shin Tsongsheng were very moved by it. They were even more anxious than him in wanting to stop Duke Long, but on the surface, Fang Yuan had a stern expression. He said solemnly, I know some information about this Dragon Palace matter. I have also obtained a venerable true inheritance from Fang Yuan. We made an agreement. Duke Long, stop here. If you want to express your sincerity, this is the best action to take. I will not pursue what happened in the future of the previous life. In fact, we can indeed have a truce in the future. Otherwise, even if I cannot defeat you, I will go visit Central Continent first. Duke Long snorted coldly, thinking in his heart, this Qi Si ancestor looks like he has a cool disposition and a sage-like demeanor, but he is actually so shameless in personality. Fang Yuan said he wanted to visit Central Continent, but he was clearly not going to just visit it. Duke Long did not question the possibility of this, because earlier, Fang Yuan focused all his attacks on Pine Crane Pavilion. It caused Duke Long to end up in a passive spot. He had to withstand the attacks. Like how the two Eastern Sea Immortals had their territories and were afraid of Heavenly Court's threat. Central Continent's Heavenly Court also had a great amount of territory, much more than Shun clan and Song clan. They were afraid of people like Chi Si Ancestor who would be unrestrained and wreak havoc. Chi Si Ancestor was a lone cultivator. He was all alone without any territory holding him back. He could come and go as he pleased. And most importantly, he was very strong. Heavenly Court did not have any effective methods of dealing with him. Other demonic path, lone immortals, or even Fang Yuan, Heavenly Court thinks he is rank 7 cultivation level, were not too threatening to Duke Long, because they were not strong enough. Even if they joined forces, they were not Duke Long's match. But Chi Si Ancestor was different. After their encounter this time, Duke Long became very wary of him. He had his trump card Triple Chi Retraction, but would Chi Si Ancestor lack a trump card? He definitely had one. Honestly speaking, reaching Chi Si Ancestor's level as a lone immortal was extremely rare. Such a person would have a huge influence on the forces around him. Even if he cultivated in seclusion, he was still a huge obstacle to Heavenly Court's domination. According to Duke Long's mentality, such a person needed to be eliminated, because they were too threatening to the repair of fake goo. Thus, when Fang Yuan lied that they would attack him in the future, Duke Long believed it in his heart. But now, due to Fang Yuan's interference, Chi Si Ancestor was alerted, and Duke Long did not want to give up on the immortal Goo House Dragon Palace either. What should he do? Duke Long felt a headache that he thought that if he fought against Chi Si Ancestor, Fang Yuan would want to see that happen, or rather, that was Fang Yuan's scheme all along. But if he stops fighting against Chi Si Ancestor now, should he really give up Dragon Palace? Impossible. Chi Si, those things earlier are just Heavenly Court's compensation. Duke Long said. Next, we can talk about our transaction involving Dragon Palace. That demon Fang Yuan is too devious and scheming. He paid a huge price to get you to block us. It was a good move. But he is just a rank 7 Goo Immortal. It is too laughable that he thinks he can toy with us rank 8 Goo Immortals. As he said this, Duke Long's tone turned solemn. Whatever resources he gave you, our Heavenly Court can give you more. Furthermore, I do not need you to take action. I just want you to watch by the sidelines. Oh, are you for real? Fang Yuan showed a slightly stunned expression. Absolutely. Duke Long said with certainty. Senior Chi Si. The 2 Eastern Sea Immortals wanted to interject, but Fang Yuan waved his hand, stopping them from speaking. Fang Yuan looked at Duke Long as he smiled with a slightly mocking expression. Duke Long. Fang Yuan gave me a venerable true inheritance. Chapter 1839. Using venerable true inheritance as bargaining chip. Venerable true inheritance. Eastern Sea's 2 immortals stared with wide eyes. Duke Long gritted his teeth. May I ask which one? Spectral Soul's true inheritance. Fang Yuan said immediately. If you don't believe me, I can show you a portion of the content. Duke Long pondered for a moment before nodding. I believe you. At the same time, he thought, this demon Fang Yuan is truly crafty. Spectral Soul was already captured by Heavenly Court. In the future, we will obtain his Spectral Soul true inheritance as well. It is not an issue. This true inheritance has very little value to Fang Yuan now, so he used it for a transaction. But Chi Si Ancestor does not have Spectral Soul in his possession. It is normal that he took the offer. Fang Yuan continued. Duke Long, if you want me to step aside, are you going to offer a venerable true inheritance too? Duke Long gritted his teeth again. Of course. Really? Fang Yuan's eyes shined brightly. Honestly speaking, Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable is the person I admire the most. Duke Long could feel his lips twitching. He thought to himself, this old man is also really devious. If he really admires Primordial Origin Immortal Venerable so much, why would he fight so ruthlessly earlier? He even used Steel Life. He totally wanted to kill me. But he cultivates Chi Path. It is logical that he wants Primordial Origin's true inheritance. That can be my bargaining chip. Friend, you may not know, the bulk of Primordial Origin's true inheritance lies in creating Heavenly Court Grotto Heaven. The rest of the content is quite little. Due to many changing eras, they are no longer usable in the present world. Duke Long purposely said. Fang Yuan frowned as he showed some disappointment. That means you cannot give me Primordial Origin's true inheritance? Then what can Heavenly Court offer? star constellations, or Genesis Lotus true inheritance. Regardless of which, they were useful to Fang Yuan. Duke Long chuckled. He gave Fang Yuan some hope, replying ambiguously, "We can discuss this." The two Eastern Sea immortals looked at each other. They felt troubled. Duke Long was very ambitious. In order to recruit Qi Si ancestor, he actually decided to offer a venerable true inheritance. And the worst thing was that neither Shin clan nor Song clan could make such an offer. Duke Long was the leader of Heavenly Court. He had abundant wealth. He could directly use resources or venerable true inheritances to flood Qi Si ancestor. He wanted to overwhelm him. This was the foundation that Heavenly Court had accumulated over countless eras. Song clan and Shin clan were truly unable to match even a small fraction of it. Fang Yuan suddenly felt that Duke Long was actually quite likable. His style of doing things made Fang Yuan want to give a thumbs up. He was truly straightforward. Immediately, Fang Yuan and Duke Long went into a deep discussion. He wanted to stall time for the Dragon Man clone anyway. The two Eastern Sea immortals could only watch. They felt anxiety, but also helplessness. Fang Yuan did not forget them, of course, during the conversation. He continued to talk to them and allowed them to maintain hope. After he did that for many times, Duke Long noticed the problem. His gaze turned deep and dark that he knew that this Qi Si ancestor was using these two Eastern Sea rank 8s to vie for more benefits. But it was not a problem. As long as Qi Si ancestor was willing to negotiate, it was a good sign. But Guyu Fangzheng is in Shun Tsongsheng's hands. This is a small problem. I need to take him back. Duke Long conversed with Fang Yuan while thinking about this as well. Fang Yuan was also thinking about Guyu Fangzheng. Earlier, Eastern Sea's two immortals had mentioned Guyu Fangzheng, but Fang Yuan's acting was too good. He acted like did not mind it at all. He was a complete outsider that showed no flaws. But Fang Yuan had his own thoughts. This dear little brother of mine was not just saved by Heavenly Court. He was even nurtured into becoming a Gu immortal? Very interesting. There must be a reason why Heavenly Court is placing such importance on him. I do not know the exact reason, but it is not a problem. I will take him away later and directly kill him. Long ago, Fang Yuan had wanted to refine Fang Zheng into blood deity. But because of Heavenly Court's pressure and due to many reasons, Fang Zheng was left to live in Langya Blessed Land for a long time. In the end, an unexpected mishap occurred, and Fang Zheng got saved by Feng Jiuge. This was not really a mistake, but since Fang Yuan found him now, he decided to settle it for good. Fang Zheng was not very important to Fang Yuan, but since Heavenly Court thought highly of him, Fang Yuan would kill him. This was Fang Yuan's usual vigilance, as for blood path. He had not many options back then. He needed to raise his battle strength. But times were different now. Fang Yuan's interest in developing blood path was very low as long as the Demon Judgment Board existed. If he cultivated blood path, he would be giving Heavenly Court information on where he was. Sometimes, Fang Yuan guessed that in the previous life, he cultivated blood path likely because of the influence of Heaven's will. It was a method to trap him. Thankfully, he had always been cautious. He did not attempt to continue using his previous life's signature path for a shortcut. The more Duke Long talked, the more energetic he got. He could tell that Fang Yuan was very sincere. He really had a lot of interest in the venerable true inheritance. Indeed, this Qi Si ancestor has incredible strength. In this world, maybe only venerable true inheritances are of interest to him. Eastern Sea actually had such a person. I need to properly investigate his background after I return. Qi Si ancestor was actually Fang Yuan. And not only did Fang Yuan want Heavenly Court's venerable true inheritances, he also wanted to kill Guyu Fangzheng. That if Duke Long were to know of this, he might just cough out blood on the spot. Dragon Palace Dream Realm. The study room had a heavy atmosphere. Fang Yuan's clone, who was acting as Wu Shuai, looked at his father with an ugly expression. He asked, "Are we really going to give ownership of Cincher Peak to that Fanji? I clearly won the contest. He was the one who tried to steal it. If I did not hold back, he would have died already." The Dragon Man Gu immortal shook his head. Cincher Peak involves huge benefits and complex relationships. Black Heaven Temple is refusing to give in. And worse is that even though we contacted Calligraphy Pavilion Lady and Green Anesthetic, these two are not helping us to exert pressure on them. Damn it! Wu Shuai clenched his fists. I am the last disciple of Green and Ascetic, but now that I am facing this problem, this master is showing no care or concern. And that calligraphy pavilion lady is even worse. I am her son-in-law while Fang Yuan is the guy who harmed her daughter, yet she is not even saying a word. The Dragon Man Gu Immortal sighed. How can we influence rank 8 Gu Immortals? This was all my fault. I had been too naive in the past. The truth is, did Green and Ascetic and Calligraphy Pavilion Lady really not know about our intentions? They were just playing dumb. That's why, Father. Wu Shuai stared at the Dragon Man Gu Immortal, his eyes shining with brilliance. Only our race's own rank 8 Gu Immortal is dependable. Our Dragon Man race has been relying on the humans and developing until today, wasn't it because of ancestor Duke Long's influence? Wu Shuai's father nodded. My son, you are right. But rank 8 Gu Immortals are just too rare. Even though our Dragon Man race is stronger than the humans, we lack their special spirit. Right now, we have many rank 7 Gu Immortals, but we do not even have a single rank 8 Gu Immortal other than our ancestor. Wu Shuai had a bright gaze. That is why we cannot wait any longer. External rank 8 Gu Immortals are not dependable, while we are also unable to produce any. We need to use an Immortal Gu House as a substitute. The Dragon Man Gu Immortal sighed again. He shook his head. Immortal Gu House? We have thought of that in the past, but to create a rank 7 Immortal Gu House would require too many resources. We cannot afford it. And our Dragon Man race's current strength is already causing a lot of commotion. More and more human Gu Immortals are onto us. Conspiracy theories against Dragon Men are also increasingly common. In this situation, if we still build an Immortal Gu House, wouldn't they lose their minds? Father, Wu Shuai stared with wide eyes as he said loudly, are we not going to build our Immortal Gu House just because of some resources and rumors behind our backs? Isn't it enough? My son, our Dragon Man race relies on the humans. This relationship is our foundation. We cannot be rash. If we really build an Immortal Gu House and ruin the relationship, not to mention a rank 7 Immortal Gu House, we would not even have hope of building a rank 6 Immortal Gu House. Sigh. All these years, I have been in this position and dealing with them. You will not understand the feeling of ostracism. The Dragon Man Gu Immortal sighed continuously. Wu Shuai felt some disappointment. He argued, regardless of the difficulties, we need to do this. Ordinary rank 7 Immortal Gu Houses are not enough. We need to create a rank 8 Immortal Gu House. That is the only way to establish the foundation of our race. Rank 8 Immortal Gu House. Ha ha ha, my son. I am very happy to see that you have such drive. But some things cannot be rushed. Progress takes time. Sigh, let's forget about Censure Peak. The Dragon Man Gu Immortal waved his hand. Wu Shuai thought about it before nodding. I guess we have no choice. Scenes after scenes occurred. Fang Yuan's clone wanted to stall for time so that his main body could save him. But his main body was stalling for time so his clone could obtain Dragon Palace. Dragon Palace was like quicksand. Fang Yuan's clone was helpless. He gradually sank and became unable to save himself. It was almost as if he had become Wu Shuai. He was experiencing all of these scenes personally. After the matter of Censure Peak, Wu Shuai finally realized the reality. His master Green Anesthetic was unreliable. His mother-in-law Calligraphy Pavilion Lady was also unreliable. Even his own father, the Dragon Man Gu Immortal, was weak-willed. He was also unreliable. He could only rely on himself. Wu Shuai had this realization. He started to strive for strength and excellence. He had great talent and incredible aptitude. With ample hard work and network resources, not only did his cultivation level soar, a portion of the Dragon Men also became stronger. They became the most prominent branch of the Dragon Man race on the day Wu Shuai became rank 7. He also became a higher-up of the Dragon Man race, the youngest supreme elder with real authority. Chapter 1840, Dragon Core. Wu Shuai was smart and resolute. He had great foresight and a strong personality. He was not weak-willed like most of the Dragon Man Gu Immortals. Due to his leadership, the Dragon Man race became stronger and stronger. Secretly, he gathered resources and did not forget about the plan to create a rank 8 Immortal Gu House. But good times did not last long. The strengthening of the Dragon Man race made the humans more antagonistic towards them. They started to use more underhanded methods. Many people were very jealous. In fact, even Wu Shuai himself admitted that much of the reason why the Dragon Man race was able to get stronger was because they occupied the human goo immortals' benefits. But due to Duke Long, the human goo immortals would not find them for trouble over many things. That on Duke Long's birthday, there was a huge celebration. The red longevity character written in the hall was very conspicuous. Duke Long sat at the main seat, surrounded by dragon men. One by one, dragon man. Goo immortals walked up and gifted the presents that they had prepared meticulously. Father, I wish you great blessings and longevity. A dragon man goo immortal gave a bundle of white python grass. This grass was an immemorial desolate plant. It contained dragon essence and had the shape of a white python with exquisite scales and dragon horns. Father, I wish you eternal prosperity and a long life ahead. Another dragon man goo immortal offered a soft jade flower. Father, I wish you. Wu Shuai's father also appeared. Duke Long had a solemn expression as he nodded. His attendants beside him collected all of these gifts for him. After his sons had finished, his grandchildren came up, a tea this time. Duke Long's expression also became gentler. He smiled warmly. Grandfather, I am here to offer birthday wishes. I wish you blessings as deep as Eastern Sea and longevity as tall as southern border mountains. This is a desolate beast that I hunted personally for you. I hope grandfather likes it. A dragon man youngster half knelt on the ground as he held a plate in front of him. There was a tiny seahorse on the plate. This is the desolate beast happiness seahorse. It is very fast and hard to kill. Seventh young master only has rank 6 cultivation level. It is very hard for him to kill it, but to think he actually captured it alive. I heard that in order to capture this happiness seahorse, 7th young master spent a month at the bottom of the sea without moving. His filial piety is truly touching. The surrounding people discussed. Many human goo immortals also participated in this joyous celebration. Little 7th was Duke Long's favorite grandson. He smiled kindly as he held the plate carrying the seahorse. He said, Good, good, good. Little 7th, I will happily accept this gift. But when it was Wu Shuai's turn, Duke Long retracted his smile as he looked at Wu Shuai. In the current situation, you are the most accomplished grandson I have. But remember that going too far could end up being detrimental. Yes, grandfather. Wu Shuai respectfully walked away. That night of the celebration, Duke Long asked someone to secretly call Wu Shuai to his study room. Return that South Flower Island to them. Duke Long said openly that Wu Shuai was slightly shocked. He forced a smile. Grandfather, you may not know, I had won this South Flower Island fair and square. I plan to make this island a home for our dragon men. Duke Long had a solemn expression. A sharp light flashed in his eyes. It made Wu Shuai feel a little pain on his face. Wu Shuai, don't think that nobody can see through your little tricks. South Flower Island belonged to Wine Cloud Manor, but you snatched it through a scheme. What are you trying to do? Lead your dragon men properly. Isn't it good to stay in the sect? Why must you relocate and move all the way to South Flower Island? Tell me, what is it that you want? Wu Shuai held his breath. After a moment, he replied, Grandfather, I do not have much ambition. I just want my people to have a better life. A better life? You mean a greater ambition? Duke Long's voice resounded. Wu Shuai shuddered as he confessed. Grandfather, even if this is ambition, so what? Shouldn't we have ambition? Do we not have the right to strive for a better life? Why must we stay here? Grandfather, do you not know of how those human goo immortals ostracize and take advantage of us? What ostracism? How are they taking advantage of you? All these years, I have only heard about your actions. Do you know why I like Little 7th the most? Because he sees the world's beauty. He is kind from the depths of his heart. He has never considered the difference between human and dragon man. But you? You use my name to act rashly in the outside world. You devour people's territory and take your sect's benefits for yourself. Quickly stop all these actions. Duke Long shouted coldly. Grandfather, if these human goo immortals did not treat us like this, why would we act like this? What human? What dragon man? Dragon man is human to begin with. What difference is there? Duke Long chided. If there is no racial difference, what are these dragon horns on my head? What is this dragon tail on my back? Wu Shuai said angrily. He shouted, Grandfather, you were a human who turned into a dragon man. Most of your life was spent as a human. You have only been a dragon man for a short period of time. But us. Grandfather, have you thought about it? We were born as dragon man. We were born with horns on our heads and a tail on our backs. I have been educated by my parents from a young age. They told us that we originated from humans. But when I was little, the kids around me mocked me for my appearance. They ostracized me. They pulled my tail and scales. All these tell me that I am not part of this human race. After growing up, I realized that not just the kids, even those human adults treat us differently. They are just more subtle with it. If I fail, they will say that it is normal for dragon men to lose to humans. If I succeed, they will say, a dragon man was able to reach this stage? Did he use any tricks or schemes? Those humans always think they are the greatest beings. They look down on dragon man as an inferior race. How dare they? Man is the spirit of all living beings, but us dragon men are not inferior. We are born with enslavement path down marks. Our body physique far surpasses these humans. If human goo masters do not use goo worms, their punches and kicks cannot even hurt the dragon scales on our bodies. And even more special is our long lifespan. All of these humans die so quickly compared to us. So many goo immortals become dragon men because they want to extend their lifespan. They have clearly abandoned their human identity, but they still look down on dragon men. This is merely the fault of these decadent ideas of the past. Enough! Duke Long slammed the table, interrupting Wu Shuai. His face was extremely dark. Not enough. Wu Shuai's tone became calm. He looked at Duke Long bravely, enduring those dragon eyes that were emitting great pressure. Grandfather, you are the one who created the Dragon Man lifespan extension method. Without you, the Dragon Men will not exist. You are the ancestor of the Dragon Men. Why must you constantly side with those humans? We are your family. I will not return South Flower Island even if I die. Grandfather, if you insist on it, then you will have to end my life first. After saying that, Wu Shuai did not look at Duke Long. He turned around and left, walking out of the room. Duke Long did not stand up to stop him. He remained seated on his chair, having complex emotions. Sigh, my descendants are all growing up. They have their own ambitions now. But they have never placed the big picture of humanity in their hearts. Was I negligent in my education? Or have the dragon men already formed into a flood? I was just the person who pushed open the floodgates. Wu Shuai schemed against Wind Cloud Manor. After realizing it, they went to Duke Long to settle this, wanting to take back South Flower Island. But Wu Shuai did not listen. He insisted on his actions. Wine Cloud Manor did not give up. They used all sorts of methods to find trouble with Wu Shuai. Wu Shuai dealt with whatever they threw at him. He maintained stability with much difficulty. Duke Long did not do anything to help his grandson, but the rest of the Dragon Man Goo Immortals did something to help, be it secretly or openly. Due to their help and Wind Cloud Manor being wary of Duke Long, they did not act too aggressively. Wu Shuai succeeded in relocating all of his people to South Flower Island to live, but the matter regarding South Flower Island did not end here. Even after 100 years, Wind Cloud Manor did not give up on it. They continued to act and try to reclaim South Flower Island. Wu Shuai dealt with all of these problems with impeccable methods. Wind Cloud Manor was unable to succeed. After 100 years, my plan finally comes to fruition. On this day, Wu Shuai looked at the immortal Goo house in front of him as he shed tears of excitement and joy. Back then, he snatched South Flower Island because he needed a secretive location to build the immortal Goo house. Wu Shuai's father stood beside him, having an incredulous expression. You actually succeeded. My son, you are more capable than me. Even though the sects have been suppressing and isolating my South Flower Island these years, I have been gaining fortuitous encounters constantly. I had a stream of resources. At the same time, with the help and contribution of the Dragon Man Goo Immortals, after 100 years, this rank 7 Immortal Goo house has finally been created. Wu Shuai smiled. Give me a few hundred more years. I might be able to make this a rank 8 Immortal Goo house. This has not been named, Wu Shuai's father asked. The Goo Immortals all have their own suggestions, but as the creator, I overruled all suggestions and gave this the name, Dragon Court. Saying so, Wu Shuai's voice became louder as his eyes shined with bright light. Dragon Court? Wu Shuai's father heard this and his expression changed. Isn't this too inappropriate? Ha ha, why is it inappropriate? It complements heavenly court. Wu Shui laughed loudly. Son, you should reconsider it. In the eyes of these human goo immortals, Dragon Court is not a name that complements heavenly court. It is clearly a rebellious sign. Hee. Wu Shui laughed coldly. They can think what they want. You can't say that. Humans are still the overlords of the 5 regions. Father, Wu Shui raised his hand. Say no more. I have made up my mind. This will be called Dragon Court.